Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz on June 12, 2017, 1:42 a.m. in Birmingham. And the topic is Agenda 21. Let me give you some more information about that even reading and listening to someone talk about it, you still don't get a well, they leave out some things that they don't want you to hear, even in the ads that they have been running. So if God put us here to multiply and be fruitful and multiply, then who are we to oppose that? That's a question that I'm asking to anyone. Agenda 21, Bill Gates said the population must be reduced. Years ago, he said to 8 billion, never let it get over that. Then it changed his mind. It went down from 8 billion to a much lower number. But I won't get into that. But if you consider what he said, the elderly who lived a good life, that's 7%, that's 52.5 million people just right now. It's not counting 5 years away. And then children who may be a handicap and require extra care, another smaller footprint in the green zone, I guess you can say. These two alone in 5 years is 300 million. Easy. The elderly, again, 7%. That number will grow every day as someone turns 65 or 66 years old. Bill Gates will be in that class soon. Is he himself going to be one of those who will go away? I'm asking, what about Bill Gates? He'll be there in less than 10 years, way less than 10 years. He will be one of the elderly. 95% of the Illuminati Bilderberg are already elderly. Why aren't their names on this chopping block? But if you take these billionaires and give them each 10,000-acre plots in 10 different places around this world, then they can enjoy everything the world has to offer that God made for all of us. That includes you and I. But that's something that we can never visit. We can't see that. We cannot step out of the green zone, or the zone that puts us in the green area. We can't leave it. We have to live in the cities. We have no cars. We walk or ride bicycles, or we take something that powers by electricity. And what I said last night, if you're driving across the country from one city to the next, and you're on a car, electric car, a train, you can't just pull over and get off and go walk out into the Yellowstone Park. No. You can't go to these places according to Agenda 21 because your footprint leaves damage in the green zone. But what do they propose to reduce the population to? And this is straight up, this is what they have said, the very numbers they said many times over. Those elderly who have a lot of money, they'll be around forever. They can enjoy these things in their families for generations. Agenda 21 calls for a grand total of 500 million people to what? To remain alive. That means 7 billion must go. You think I'm wrong? Read it. God said, be fruitful and multiply. If God didn't mean that, then there would be a natural law in place by God that would simply cut off babies from being born until more were needed. Don't you think? But it is those who want Agenda 21 to come now, today. As the article said, there would be appointed people to rule over communities. Who are these appointed people? Here in America, they're the liberals. They're the ones who's fighting so hard to to bring in Agenda 21, to turn this place over to the Pope, and then to the UN, then to the Antichrist. But let me make something else clear. We have a stay right now. Not us Christians. We're going anyway. But the stay is for those who aren't saved, to give them time. God has extended free salvation. He's extended the period of grace for however many will come to Christ over the period of time in which he extended it for. We don't know that. So if we're capped at 500 million and 7 billion must die, and by abortion, and the elderly are the first to go, then the poor, the 4 billion who live on little to nothing. There are those who want to force change in America into a socialist state. When this happens, then the people will no longer have a voice. By that, the federal government can do as they choose, when they choose, and not one voice outside the federal government will ever be heard again. Again, it's either by consent or conquest. The socialist state will yield the UN Agenda 21 one way or the other. Now, that's not going to happen either. It may, but only in limited part, because when the church is taken out, then complete disarray, everything that's held together by natural laws will fall apart. Everything that's held together by the grace of God is no longer held together. That includes all the liberals who are fighting to get that paycheck that they sold us out for. Look how well Venezuela's doing today. They're starving to death. They have no clean water. They're fighting in the streets every day. Thousands of people are dying a month, and they're not even reporting it. Look at every socialist state or country. They're in disarray. They're falling apart. This is why they don't care how many they kill in the streets. Until they get down to a certain number, they'll let it happen. Socialism does not work, never has, never will. Communism does not work, never has, never will. Keep that under your hat. Think about that, because it is a fact that that's where they want us to be, but we're not going to go there. That is a grand scheme by the false prophet, which is led by Satan himself. You have the Antichrist that will bring an order and bring a peace to Israel for 7 years. And then you have the false prophet that will enter into, this is a separate person, the temple that the Jews have built on the Temple Mount. But as he enters, Satan enters into his body and demands to be worshipped. So you have the Antichrist, false prophet, and Satan, the dragon. That's their plan. And the only thing that's holding it all up is me and you. Now, aren't you proud of yourself by keeping the gates of hell closed for now? Jody Wolf, Expoz.